Alright, so we've done an improv on the black keys. Now we're going to use the white keys. There's a few more notes to select from. Where we have 5 different black keys, there are 7 different white keys. So for our melody, we now have more notes to choose from. In our left hand, however, where do we get started? What do we do? Well, we're going to start with a C with our left hand pinky and move down 2 notes down to an A. C being just to the left of the group of 2 black keys, A being just to the right of the middle note from our group of 3 black keys. This would be a good starting point, and we can play around with all of these white keys in our right hand. And again, you can just use like pinky in the left, finger 2 in the right. If you want to start to get more developed, feel free to, but we're going to keep things nice and simple for now. It might sound something like this. Okay, so just like on the black keys where we were moving from F sharp to D sharp, the top note, C, will give you a more major finish, whereas the bottom note, A, will give you a more minor sounding finish. Now that's not to say that we can't go to some other notes, but we'll come back to that later. For now, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to add a thumb 1/5 above. Now we're skipping 3 white keys. Same when we go down to this A, we're skipping 3 white keys down below. So we have C to G, down to A and E. Same idea. In the right hand, adding some rests, adding some fast notes. Don't forget, repeats are fine. We like repeats. A little bit overdone, but you get the idea. So same idea, now we have a 5th in the left hand, but here's where this class gets a little bit more unique. We're going to do something a bit more rhythmically dense in the left hand, where we're starting to oscillate back and forth between the pinky and the thumb. Now you can do 2 patterns, 1, 2, and then move, but I recommend trying 4 patterns on each shape. Tends to be the sweet spot in music. 2, 3, 4, and then down to A. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Right hand comes in. Keep it simple because your left hand is more developed. You're going to find there's more room for error in terms of missing the transitions. So without me talking, continuing on, something simple like this. Okay, doesn't even have to be that fast. You can go really slow with this, take your time. But the idea is our left hand isn't just plunking down some notes and holding while our right hand plays. It can be easy to lose our beat when we do that, which is why so often as musicians, we use metronomes. So the left hand is acting sort of like a metronome so that our right hand has something to sort of ground itself upon in terms of its rhythm, okay? Now I mentioned you're not burdened to C and A as your left hand notes. You can move to nearly any white note. I would just caution B. Unless you're playing B by itself, which would be fine. If you're doing the 5th, B to F in this case does not sound so great. Every other 5th sounds fine. You just have to watch this B to F. So let's play around with this oscillating up and down, pinky and thumb, but I'm going to allow myself to move to other places other than C or A. I'd recommend starting on C and finishing on C, or starting on A and finishing on A. If you start and finish on C, it'll sound more happy, major. If you start and finish on A, it'll sound more sad, or minor. It might sound something like this. Few C's and G's to finish. So you can see I wasn't even moving very far. C to D to E to F, just moving up 1 note at a time. We don't have to leap all over the place. Some great progressions do leap quite a bit, but we don't have to. Again, you'll notice I started on C and finished on C, and a great finishing note for your right hand might be a C or a G, one of the notes from this left hand set of 2 notes. So now you're improvising on white keys. We've talked about C and A being very fundamental notes for this, adding a 5th in the left hand, and even oscillating that 5th, moving back and forth, creating a bit more of a rhythmic pulse to lay down a rhythmic foundation for that right hand. So that's it for this class on improvising on the white keys. We've covered a few different approaches. In our next class, we're going to develop the left hand further and talk about adding full chords to your improvisation. I'll see you there.